Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 924. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book but you need some help getting it done, you are in the right place. Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc. Inc, like that stuff we write with. Each day I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 20 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they can even turn someone who barely sees themselves as a writer into a published book author. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. What has always been at the heart of filmmaking was the value of a script. It was really the writer who could make or break a film. Douglas Fairbanks, Jr. Once again, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Earlier this week, for this week's Sunday Story Time, the October 24th episode, I touched on how, as authors, we can steal some valuable writing tools from screenwriters. Here are some parallels between book writing and screenwriting that I want to share with you today to add to your literary toolbox. Number one, log line. Now, in screenwriting, the log line is a one-sentence, clear and compelling description of the story. The WIFM, so to speak, the what's in it for me, for the movie's audience, the answer to the question, what is interesting about this movie and why should I care about it? For example, recognize this log line? A thief who steals corporate secrets through the use of dream-sharing technology is given the inverse task of planting an idea into the mind of a CEO. Can you name that movie? Now, in books, this is the reader promise statement, the WIFM for your readers, what's in it for me, what they will ultimately walk away with if they read your book. Knowledge, inspiration, an entertainment experience, new ideas, any variation of those. How can you draw from the clarity, brevity, and precision of movie log lines when describing your book to readers? Number two, I call it a string of snapshots. Because in screenwriting, I've always likened screenwriting overall to taking a giant stack of Polaroids, scribbling captions on them, and then stringing them together in a specific order that tells the best story. Note that the picture is the star of the show, and the caption is merely telling us what we're looking at, specifically what is happening in this image. It might be describing the setting in the photo, the action, and if there are people, what they're saying. Moment by moment, shot by shot, scene by scene, a complete story eventually comes together. The point is, in screenwriting, you have very limited real estate to work with, word count-wise. To give you an idea, the average screenplay length is somewhat around like 15,000 words. A business book is closer to 50,000 words, and novels generally begin at around 75,000 words. So again, screenplays, 15,000 words. The function of a screenplay is purely to dictate the what, when, where, and how of the action, and the words the characters should say to move it forward. Literary tools like exposition and character inner lives or other deep thoughts are used sparingly or not at all. Does that sound pretty dull to you? Well, it's not, because screenwriting for me is a masterclass in the art of brevity. Similar to the prior lesson about log lines, screenwriting forces you to write only the words that move the action forward and reveal character. No explaining, stalling, lagging, trailing off, rabbit holes, falling off the rails, soliloquies, monologues, you get the idea. So in books, a writing rule that I frequently quote to my book coaching clients comes from the late, great author Kurt Vonnegut. Every line should either reveal something about a character or move the plot forward. Screenwriting gives you no other option but to do this. With only 15,000 words to play with, you are forced to give every word a job. Finally, dramatic moments. In screenwriting, filmmakers love opening and closing scenes. They love to start them in the middle, whether opening the scene at the peak of the action or closing it on a cliffhanger. Everything, again, in those brief 15,000 words is about getting and holding the audience's attention. Screenwriters, along with ad copywriters, probably understand better than all other writers that attention is one of the most valuable and fleeting assets that exists. In books, as authors, sometimes we take attention for granted. We assume that once a reader buys our book, begins reading it, and gets past the introduction, they'll naturally finish it. This is a dangerous assumption that can lead to literary laziness. Don't let it happen to you. Respect the art of attention and respect the attention that your readers gift you with. Now, I'm not suggesting that you need to turn your book into a Marvel Comics action-packed superhero adventure or bloody horror movie or anything like that. I'm simply asking you to add to your ongoing study of books through reading them, the study of screenplays and movies. What techniques can you spot from reading screenplays and watching movies that you can carry over to your book writing, especially in terms of holding an audience's attention? Bottom line, creative writing is creative writing, whether your words inspire moving pictures on the screen or moving pictures in the reader's mind. As authors, we get to create something from nothing. Where can you draw inspiration from to do this? Movies, books, art, classic literature, plays, music, nature. The possibilities are endless. Just because we write books doesn't mean that has to be the sole source of our inspiration. And I will post a link to a more detailed version of today's episode that includes exercises. So you can take these 3 concepts of logline and how a movie is a string of snapshots with limited word real estate and dramatic moments, how you can take these and put them into action in your writing. So check the show notes for the link to the complete post. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. Until tomorrow, happy writing.